Models by Mark Manson, Chapter 6. The Three Fundamentals. The three fundamentals are the three ways in which a man can become more vulnerable and become less needy. Improving each one of these three fundamentals will improve your results, sometimes drastically. Each of the three fundamentals can be worked on independently, but as we'll see later, improving one of the three often indirectly benefits the other two and vice versa. The three fundamentals are creating an attractive and enriching lifestyle, overcoming your fears and anxiety around socializing, intimacy, and sexuality, mastering the expression of emotions, and communicating fluidly. The way to improve each of these fundamentals is by drilling deeper into your vulnerability for each one of them. So one way to think about it is that the fundamentals are the categories in which you can improve your results with women. And general well-being, expressing vulnerability, and taking truth is the process in which you improve in the categories. For short, I prefer to three fundamentals: honest living, honest action, and honest communication. For instance, honest living or creating a task class involves really drilling down and understanding what you want as a man for your life and then working to make that a reality. If you're in a job you hate, with hobbies you hate, and friends you don't like, then no matter what you do or how much money you make, you're going to have a hard time meeting attractive women that you enjoy and who enjoy being with you. This is because the identity you have adopted does not accurately reflect your emotional needs and desires. You are not living your life honestly, which means you are not investing in yourself, which means you are needy and unattractive. If your true passion is art and you push people around at an insurance firm, then you are not living honestly. You have compromised your identity in some way to fit what others have dictated it should be. In this case, you've given up what actually makes you happy, not to fit the values or roles of other people in society. Having a stable job, working in the corporate world, having a nice house, car, etc. This displays a lack of vulnerability and neediness. If some things are actually important to you, then you have a responsibility to yourself to change. Otherwise, you are always going to be an unattractive man. How so? Because you are living 40 hours a week, every week, investing your identity in what others want out of you and not what you want of yourself. This is like baseline neediness. And until you straighten this out, you will be needy and fit with every woman you meet, preventing you from meeting truly amazing women that you could potentially be with one day. Honest living correlates directly with the quality of women that you will attract. The more in tune you are to your lifestyle, the more you take care of your appearance and your health, the higher the quality of women you will attract and the greater percent of receptive women you will meet. Honest action is overcoming your fear and anxiety around women. Our anxiety is another form in which we highly invest ourselves in others' perceptions and avoid our truths, like a poor lifestyle. It also seems to be embedded in us and it's something that requires a lot of thought and effort to repair over a longer period of time. I call it honest action because it is honesty in the strictest terms. If you see a beautiful woman and have a desire to meet her, do not take action, and meet her is a form of being dishonest with yourself. If you are standing in a bar and you see a woman who catches your interest and you keep looking at her all night because you are afraid to do something on a deep level, you are being dishonest about your intentions and equality. You are being overly invested in her and others' opinions and are vulnerable to expose their vulnerability. All fear around your sexuality is a result of feeling inferior or unworthy. If you're afraid to approach a woman, it's because somewhere inside you are more invested in her opinion of you than you are in your own opinion of yourself. If you are afraid to ask a woman to come home with you, it's because you are afraid of the sexual reality that you want to sleep with her. You are more invested in her not rejecting you than you are in aligning yourself with your desires. Overcoming your fear and anxiety will correlate with your overall results with women. The reason being that once a man overcomes his fear of rejection, he is willing to more or less pursue any woman he wants when he wants. Even if he is a deadbeat, lacks a good lifestyle, or even if he is terrible at expressing himself, lacks good communication skills, he will eventually meet a woman who want to date him and sleep with him by no other means that pure numbers. If he's willing to approach 500 women with no fear of rejection, eventually at least one of them is going to stick. Honest action correlates directly to the quantity of women when you meet and attract. The third fundamental is honest communication, or learning to express yourself freely and effectively. This is what motivating advice house and classifies as gay. A good sense of humor, the ability to connect with people, telling stories, engaging people's attention, having charisma, and expressing your sexuality openly. These are all parts of this fundamental. I call it honest communication because it's learning how to communicate your true intentions and emotions to others clearly. Often we have certain thoughts or feelings, but we don't know the best way to convey those thoughts or feelings. This third fundamental focus on how to do that. Well, honest communication will determine the efficiency with which you are able to attract women who are compatible to you. A man who communicates poorly or is unable to express himself clearly will lose a lot of romantic opportunities to lost in translation, situations, misunderstandings, vague communications, inaccurate assumptions, etc. Neutral advantages and advantages. Chances are you are already pretty strong in one or more of the three fundamentals and weak or mediocre at one or more of them. Where your strengths and weaknesses lie will determine not just the quantity of your results with women, but also types of outcomes you achieve. For instance, a man with an amazing lifestyle but poor action and poor communication will be surrounded by beautiful and interesting women, but never be with them. Classic examples of these are rich or good-looking men who are still single and frustrated. They may have money, connections, power, and meet beautiful women elderly or a beautiful woman approach them, but they are never able to capitalize on their opportunities. A man with no fear or anxiety will. A man with no fear or recognizable women will be able to approach and ask out many women, but his effort to reward ratio will be poor, and the quality of women will be worse. Often lots of aspiring players fall into this category. They go out 5, 6 nights per week, approach dozens of women, fail with almost all of them, but every once in a while convince a drunk, sloppy girl to come home with them. A man with good communication skills but a lot of fear and a poor lifestyle will rarely meet or attract beautiful women, but the few times he does, he will capitalize on his opportunities. Most so-called normal alone guys like this, they rarely see opportunities, but when they come along, they take them and do well. The problem with these men is that they never feel like they are in control of their own lives. They are always waiting for that next woman who's interested to come around. Sometimes they end up waiting quite a while. These fundamentals are interesting that they explain why a lot of men implement a lot of dating advice or self-improvement and don't see any actual change in results. The weakness is that you aren't able to communicate confidently or emphasize that other people are expressing, then being encouraged to approach 500 new women is going to be an absolute disaster. If you are broke, live with your parents, and have no job, then being encouraged to spend all of your time and money on is only going to get you a bunch of meaningless sex with mediocre, drunk girls who have no better options. If you're scared to death of saying anything to a woman you find attractive, then the best conversation tricks, teasing and flirting lines, or even openers are not going to help you at all. But as I said earlier, the three fundamentals are interdependent. They feed off of one another. So if your biggest problem is an ability to communicate well, then meeting 100 new women who won't directly benefit you, but the fact that you will talk to 100 new people will directly help your issue. In the same way, being able to communicate effectively will help guys with extreme levels of anxiety in development because a few times they do work out the nerve to make a move on women, they will usually do it in a smooth and socially tuned way. It's important to get the advice that you implement to your specific issues. Hopefully, reading this chapter you have a list of a idea of you, where your weaknesses are. The rest of this book is dedicated to breaking down just fundamentals in which one giving clear how to guides for improving them. Identifying and focusing on the fundamentals you need to work on most will be the quickest route to improving your life and sex life. Most of you will have one or two main weaknesses, probably one or two strengths, but some of you may be weak in all of them. I guarantee you, if you're reading this, you are not strong in all of them. If you think you are, and you are still reading this far, then you are deluding yourself and need to read chapter 3 on being honest with yourself. Two types of men. In my experience, almost all men who struggle with relationships fall into one of two categories: socially anxious or socially disconnected. Socially anxious men tend to hit the social mental down very well. They are good at expressing themselves and are very aware of social norms and what others are thinking and feeling. In fact, in a lot of cases, socially anxious men are too aware of that, of what other people are thinking and feeling, and therefore have lots of social anxiety. They are afraid to speak to new women. They get nervous pushing things forward. They are scared to ask women on dates. Generally, though, once these men do meet women who likes them, they do okay. Then they can converse with her all night, and if she happens to be attracted to him, he's not a smith, but is actually being proactive, making moves and scares him to death. These men usually spend most of their time focusing on overcoming fear and basic time and expression. Socially disconnected men are the opposite. These are men who have always been a little bit more obvious to what others think and feel about them. Usually they are guys who have always kind of kept to themselves and who are more interested in their studies or some new nerdy subject than the people around them. Well, interestingly, men who are socially disconnected have far less fear or anxiety when it comes to approaching, receiving, or escalating with women. In fact, it's because they are so obvious to social cues and what others are thinking, feeling that they are so fearless around them. The struggle for men in this category is going to be the third fundamental, learning how to express themselves, understanding how people think and feel around them. These men have little hesitance or fear for action, but they tend to do the wrong actions at the wrong times over and over and over, and they rarely understand why. The first fundamental lifestyle is all over the map and is a work in progress for everyone. The better your rust, the better your lifestyle, everything else will be. And ultimately, you should be working on your lifestyle for yourself first and foremost. Attractiveness to women is just an enjoyable side effect. But second and third fundamentals ultimately connect to one another. Anxious guys are anxious because they are so socially attuned to others, perhaps even too socially attuned with others. And socially disconnected guys are fearless because they are socially disconnected from others. The idea is to become socially connected and fearless at the same time, and have an awesome and attractive lifestyle. The full package, the three fundamentals. But whichever type you are, with all three sections, as even reading about areas in which you answer someone with very forced advanced habits, and you will probably pick up a few more pointers on how to improve your strengths even further. Part 3 is about honest living, building attractive and abundant lifestyles where quality women who are most compatible with you naturally gravitate into your life. Part 4 is about honest action, overcoming your fears and anxieties so that you may act on your impulses and desires without hesitation or shame. Part 5 is about honest communication, training yourself to express yourself openly and flexibly in an interesting way that will keep people interested in you and help you make that transition to becoming physical with them. Parts 3 and 4 are divided into two chapters each. The first covers the concepts and of the fundamental, and second gives specific actionable advice on how to improve each fundamental. For instance, in part 3, Honest Living, chapter 7 covers the concept of demographics and how it affects how women are going to respond to you. Chapter 8 is called Lifestyle and Presentation. It describes how we can use the knowledge of demographics to make ourselves as responsible to each woman in it. Part 5 has 4 chapters to cover all aspects of communicating efficiently, verbally, physically, etc., as well as what's socially expected. Coach process. And keep in mind, moving forward, that the foundation behind all of the advice given is the idea that honest expression of yourself and your desires as a man is the most effective way to demonstrate non-neediness and therefore create lasting and genuine attraction with women who will make you the happiest. If at any point along the first six chapters you felt like something didn't make sense or didn't click, then you may want to flip back and review it. If not, if everything makes sense and the reasoning behind everything I've said so far makes sense, then you are ready. Read on.